Hi everyone, it's Eleni here from Yoga Hari Healing. Welcome to another one of my classes. I know it's been a little while since I've posted a video, but life is happening, so I will do what I can. So today we're going to focus on a whole integrated practice that will go for about 40 minutes. And it's a practice that ideally can be done in the mornings when you haven't got a lot of time, maybe before work or before your day begins. Or possibly when you come back from work and you want to fit in a little bit of a yoga practice before you get dinner started and organise the family. So we're going to be focusing on balancing poses, and balancing poses are really amazing for learning to come into present moment awareness. They require a lot of focus, a lot of concentration, and I find that through the work that I do with trauma, they're very good for helping to regulate very heightened emotional states. So they're a really good way of just coming back, settling down, grounding, being very present. So they do help us regulate emotions. And that's what we'll be focused on today. We will start with a very short meditation practice and of course our opening chants. So without taking any more time, let's get straight into the practice. So I'm going to get you to come into either Siddha yoni asana or siddhasana, or if you want to sit in Sukhasana for your opening practice, that's completely fine as well. That's just easy cross-legged. I'm going to do Siddha yoni asana. And or a variation of it, and as we come into this practice, we take a moment to just get comfortable in our foundation, in our seat, and making sure that the foundation is very stable and very grounded and very centered. So allow the weight of the body to be even across the right and left buttock. And make sure that the weight of the body isn't coming too far forward into the front sit bones or too far back into the back sit bones. Equalize the weight evenly across those 4 points. And at the moment I've got my hands resting on my thighs, so feel free to do that as well. Gently lift up through the torso, raise the rib cage, lengthen the spine. Gently lift up under the base of the heart, and then begin to open the chest by broadening the collarbones and drawing the outer tip of the shoulders back, and then positioning the head on top of the spine, drawing the top front of the throat back. Feel that length to the back of the neck, and gently drawing the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Soften through the face, all the facial muscles. Quieten the inner gaze. Soften the jaw. And quieten the inner ears. Now feel that there's an energetic extension from the pelvic floor to the crown of the head. Maintain that as you bring your palms together in a variation of Anjali mudra. The palms are very gently coming together, pressing in towards each other, drawing the fingertips into the heart as an offering, and allowing the elbows to gently draw away from the body. Try not to be hard or rigid through the arms, the shoulders and the torso. Look for alert softness. Perhaps you might want to even bow the head down towards the heart. Take a moment to come to the breath. Stabilize the breath. Allow your full awareness to rest on the flow of the breath as you inhale and exhale in a steady and smooth way. Keep breathing for a few more rounds. Allow the breath to begin to quieten the chatter of the mind. Be fully aware of your breath. Bring the form of your body into awareness. Feel yourself present with your body and your breath. And we'll begin our practice with 3 Oms and the teacher-student prayer. And as we chant the 3 Oms, just recognize that really what we're doing through the chanting of the Oms is coming into the vibrational aspect of our being. We're recalibrating back to the source of our Atma. And we're also really moving away from manifestation into pure openness, into pure spaciousness, into our pure essence. So keep that in your awareness as you chant the 3 Oms. So let's take a breath in, exhale any stuck energy or tension, then take another inhalation. Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Vidyam Kadvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, you can release your hands back down into the lap. And when you're ready, gently open the eyes and allow them to refocus. Okay, so from here we're going to come out of Siddha Yoni asana. We can put aside our blankets, and I'll just put mine over there. Come down onto your back into a prone position on your back. Make sure that when you lie back that your shoulders are above your hips. The knees can be bent. We're going to gently take the right knee towards the chest. Tuck the shoulders down the back, lengthen through the back of the neck. And remember, if the back of your neck is short, just place a little blanket underneath the back of your head. And as you draw the knee and the thigh down towards the chest, make sure that the shoulders remain soft. The throat and jaw remain soft, and in your own time you can gently straighten that left leg along the floor. Keep the left leg firm, the heel down and the toes up, and take a few breaths deep into that right hip, deep into that right groin. Keep grounding the inner left leg towards the floor, spreading through the soles of the foot, softening through the face. Breathe. Keep the breath very steady, very smooth. And then we can bend the left knee, place the foot onto the floor and release the right leg down onto the floor. Just taking a moment to notice the sensations and the feeling in the right leg and the back of the pelvis and the right hip. Then very gently take the left knee and thigh towards the floor. Draw the knee and thigh down towards the floor, softening through the top of the shoulders, the facial muscles and the jaw. Extending the right leg along the floor, drawing the inside edge of the right leg towards the floor. The heel is down, the toes are up. The sole of the foot is spreading. And breathing deep into that left hip. So wherever you feel that there's a stuckness or a little bit of tightness, mentally lead the breath into that area now and allow that stuckness to disperse through the purposeful flow and direction of the breath.
You'll feel that hip and groin releasing as you draw that knee and thigh closer towards the chest. Couple more breaths. And then you can exhale and release that foot, bend both knees, rest the arms onto the floor, walk the feet and the knees together. Now we're just going to do a little bit of abdominal work to warm up the body, but I also find that a bit of core awakening helps to stabilize our balancing poses, which do require core engagement. But if we get that fire stoked right at the beginning, it really awakens that area of the body. It produces lots of warmth throughout the body, getting us ready to be very present with our experience of standing poses. So we're going to draw both the knees towards the chest, and then we're going to extend the legs up towards the ceiling. So the legs are straight, and you're extending the inner legs from the groins towards the inner heels and inner balls of the feet. Extend the balls of the feet and the heels equally towards the ceiling. Keep the back of the neck long. Draw the outer blades of the feet down towards the hips. And now, on an inhalation, gently push out through the knees. Engage the navel gently towards the spine as you release the legs back down onto the floor. Exhale as the heels touch the floor. Then take another inhalation, and then as you exhale, raise the legs up towards the ceiling again. Holding the legs here, making sure the toes are above the lower ribs and the buttock bones are drawing down towards the floor. The thigh bones are sucking down into the hip sockets. Open up the back of the knees. Roll the outer thighs towards the inner thighs. Keep breathing. And then very gently, in a controlled way, on an inhalation, gently draw the legs down, exhaling as the heels touch the floor. Now you'll feel the thighs awakening here too. Just feel that for a moment. And then take another inhalation, moving with the exhalation, draw the navel down and bring the legs back up. Holding here, opening up the back of the knees, rolling the outer thighs towards the inner thighs. A couple more breaths, holding here. And then inhaling. As you bring the legs down, keep a little core engagement, navel drawing down towards the spine, pushing out through the heels, and gently exhale, release the heels back down onto the floor. Just feeling that aliveness in the legs, then bending the knees, rolling to your right side and sitting up all the way. And then you're going to come up onto your knees and let's just do a gentle forward bend. Sometimes some abdominal work can cause, particularly in those ones, can cause a little discomfort in the back. So let's just release through the back in Adho Virabhadrasana, taking the knees apart. The hands come onto the floor, shoulder width apart. Pelvis is tilting forward, pubic bone moving backwards through the legs as you exhale, and extend the torso and arms forward, bringing the forehead onto the floor. Spreading through the fingers, softening the shoulders away from the ears, breathing down into the belly. Good. Feeling the openness through the groins, softness through the pelvic floor as you inhale down into the belly area. Exhale, feel the belly gently releasing. A few more breaths. And then we're going to inhale, come up. Walk your knees back together. We're going to come into pigeon pose. We're going to bring the right leg forward, bending at the knee, and we're going to position the right heel in front of the left hip bone. Just to extend that left leg, I like to tuck the toes under, lift the knee off the floor, lengthen the front of the thigh, and walk the toes back a little. And as you bring the knee down onto the floor,
Turn the left hip towards the floor as well. Good. Extend the toes back and make sure that the outer ankle of the back foot is drawing towards the inner ankle. Walk the hands back towards you as you inhale, lifting up through the chest, drawing the navel back. And as you exhale, come forward with your torso. And for those of you who can't reach all the way to the floor, you might want to take your fists and rest your forehead onto your fists. Or if you're able to, we take the arms forward and we rest the forehead down. Now as you come forward, whichever variation you're doing, try to keep the outer right thigh drawing towards the floor, the back toes extending back, breathing into that left hip. Try not to be tight or tense through the jaw or the facial muscles. Keep it all soft. The breath is steady and it's flowing. And then we're inhaling, and we're just going to come up. And coming up onto the fingertips, if you're able to, you're going to bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, and just gently draw that left leg towards, the left foot towards your buttock. And you'll feel a very big stretch through the front of the thigh. Good. And then exhale, release the leg, take the hands onto the floor, pushing into the hands, you lift up and you bring your knee back down and you slide your left leg forward. And you position your left heel in front of your right hip bone. You tuck your back toes under, slide the knee back to lengthen through the front of the thigh. Extend the toes back. And then coming up onto the fingertips, seeing if you can draw the right hip forward without letting the back toes turn in. Keep them extending away from you. Now as you keep the pelvis in a neutral position, inhaling, lifting up the rib cage and extending the torso over that bent knee, coming forward. Again, maybe just forearms, whatever you can do, resting your forehead down. Drawing the outer right leg towards the floor. That left hip is gently drawing back. Feeling that big stretch through the glute, through the hip. Keep the breath steady and smooth. And then inhaling, coming up. And as you come up, you bend that right knee. If you can hold the foot or the ankle or the shin, whatever you can do, and turn to face forward. The right hip turns to face forward as you draw that foot towards the buttock. Feeling that deep stretch. Couple more breaths here. Great. And then exhaling, releasing. Bringing that left buttock onto the floor. Let's just bring the leg around and sitting into a cross-legged position. Inhaling, lifting up through the spine, extending the arms up above the head, drawing the navel back as you exhale and come forward. And releasing through that lower back and through the hips, softening through the buttocks and the tops of the shoulders. Keep breathing. Feeling into the foundation of your posture, making sure you're not leaning more to the right or the left. And then inhale, look up. Lift up from the base of the sternum, extend the arms out in front with the palms facing one another. And then as you exhale, draw the navel back and come up all the way and releasing the arms back down beside you. Great, now let's just extend the legs and swap sides so that we're taking the opposite leg and shin in front, sitting cross-legged, lifting up through the torso and the spine, inhaling, taking the arms up above the head, and exhaling, drawing the navel, bending from the hips, coming forward, resting the palms onto the floor, releasing the head. Softening the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. Good, couple more breaths.
feeling the lower back, the hips and the buttocks soften. Then lifting the head, inhaling, taking the arms out in front, palms facing one another. As you exhale, draw the navel back, coming up and exhaling, releasing the arms back down beside you. Great. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to slowly just come up and sit onto our heels. And we're just going to do a little bit of a release through the wrists. So thumbs into the palms, fingers around the thumbs, just rotating the wrists. Good. And then the other way around. Getting that movement and warmth and release through the wrists. And then opening and closing the fingers. And then lifting up from the base of the heart, taking the arms out to the side, shoulder height. Now feel like you're spreading your arms away from the center of the chest. Now we're going to rotate, we're going to turn the arms, and we're going to turn the arms from the shoulder joint, from the shoulder socket. So we're going to think of the little fingers and the outer arms turning down towards the floor, and then you scoop the outer arms and little fingers up towards the ceiling and draw the inner arms, outer wrists and thumbs towards the floor. And now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring the thumbs up towards the ceiling and turn down towards the floor. And then all the way rotating the arms in the shoulder joints forward and scooping the thumbs back. And then inhaling, doing the opposite. Drawing the little fingers down, scooping the outer arm, wrist and little fingers towards the ceiling. And then inhale, turning the arms from the shoulders, palms down towards the floor. Coming around, interlocking the fingers, turning the palms forward, extending through the elbows as you draw the navel back, bring the arms up towards the ceiling. Soften the top of the shoulders away from the ears. Try not to overextend through the lumbar and the middle back. Draw the bottom front ribs back. Couple more breaths. Without losing the height of the chest, you can exhale, release the arms back down beside you. And just rest the hands onto the thighs, feeling into the release of the upper body, the shoulders, feeling the expansion of the breath, the ease of the breath. And then gently opening the eyes, coming up onto your hands and knees. And then we're going to just very gently turn the fingers around. For some of you may not be able to move to this extent. So if you can just turn your fingers to the side, and if that feels like you're really stretching through the wrist, that's completely fine. So just another stretch through the wrist. If you're able to, turn the fingers back. The creases of the elbows are facing forward. Gently take the knees back. And then just to whatever point you can, you take your buttocks back towards your heels and you'll feel a beautiful stretch through the forearm and through the wrists. You may even feel it through the palm and the fingers. Good, couple more breaths. And then inhale, coming up, exhaling, turning the fingers forward. Then bringing your hands to the front of your mat, and we're going to just spread through the fingers here. Index fingers facing one another. The hands can be a little wider than shoulder width. Tip of the fingers level. We're going to move into Adho Mukha, downward dog. So position the knees apart, hip width, feet about your hip width apart. And as you push into the hands, lift the knees off the floor, lift the buttocks towards the ceiling. And draw the chest and the armpits towards the thighs. Now at this point, don't worry about straightening the legs. I would keep them bent just for a moment. Let's focus on the arm work. So the inner upper arms are rolling outwards so that the shoulder blades broaden across the back. No need to push your head towards the floor. It's okay to keep your head in line with the spine in between your arms. And now let's just get a little bit more tilt through the pelvis as the pubic bone moves backwards through the legs and the creases of the buttocks lift towards the ceiling. See if you can lengthen the armpits a little more, like you want to stretch that mat away from you. Maintain all of that, and let's engage the thighs and push the front of the thighs back. Feel the openness through the knees. Now once you've got the thighs engaged, then you can draw the center of the heels down equally through both feet. Keep the breath smooth, keep the face and jaw soft. Couple more breaths. And from here, we're going to inhale, look up towards our hands, bring the weight forward, bend the knees, draw the navel back to the spine. Inhale, jump the feet. And now we're going to exhale, hold the back of the legs, bend the elbows out, head down. Now inhale again, lengthen the front body. Let's really get length through the front body. Feel the thoracic spine between the shoulder blades move towards the front body. Shoulders move away from the ears. Lift the pit of the belly as you exhale. Bend the elbows out and draw the crown of the head down towards the floor. And now we're going to look up. We're going to inhale. We're going to come into Utkatasana, fierce pose. Draw the navel back. Squeeze your inner thighs, inner ankles together. And then as you push into the feet to straighten the legs, lift up through the heart. And as you exhale, release the arms out to the side and back beside you. Coming back into Tadasana. Close your eyes here for a moment and just take a breath in and a breath out. Stabilize the body. Feel the whole form of your body. Feel the energy in your body. Feel the energy of living presence in the form of sensations. Couple more breaths here. Feeling and noticing your experience. You may want to even draw your attention to sounds around you. And then very gently you can open your eyes. And we're going to move into Utkatasana again. Inhale, take the arms out in front and up into Urdhva Hastasana. And then we're going to exhale, bend the knees like you're sitting into a chair. Bring the upper body forward into Utkatasana. Inhale, take the arms out to the side. Roll the buttocks up towards the ceiling. Straighten the legs. Hold the back of the legs, elbows out, head down. Then inhale, look up. Bend the knees, place the hands onto the floor and step the right foot and left foot back into downward dog. Find your position. Toes are about one of your leg lengths away from your wrists. Pelvis is tilting forward, creases of the buttocks are lifting, heels are grounding towards the floor. Really open up the back of the knees now. Upper arms are rolling out. Keep the breath moving, keep it smooth. So from here we're going to step the left foot into the right foot, and we're going to lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Now listen carefully, we're going to engage through the core. We're going to inhale, look up towards our hands, bring the weight forward, draw the knee towards the chest. Keep the core engaged as you exhale, push strongly through the hands and arms and lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Do 5 more of these in your own time. Very slow, very controlled. And as you come forward, make sure that you press down through the pad of the thumbs and the index fingers equally through both hands. And now 2 more. Inhaling, coming forward, strong through the arms, core engaged. Exhaling, leg extends up. 1 more. And exhale, the leg comes up. And then you bring the leg down. Reposition your feet hip width apart, heels wider than the toes. You may need to adjust through the hands. Then step the right foot towards the left foot. Inhale, bring the right leg up. And as you lift the left leg up, inhale, look up, come forward, engage through the core, bring the knee forward, upper body forward. Exhale, strong through the arms, the leg lifts towards the ceiling. Draw the navel towards the spine as you inhale, draw the knee forward, bring the upper body forward. Exhale, push into the pad of the thumbs and the index fingers. 4 more. Inhaling and exhaling. You can slow down this movement so you're very deliberate in the way that you work your hands and the core and the legs. 2 more. Good. Good, and then you exhale, bring the leg down. Step the feet apart. Find your Adho Mukha variation position. And then we're going to look forward, bend the knees, engage through the core, bring the weight forward. Inhale, jump. And exhale, fold up into Uttanasana. Inhale, look up, lift the pit of the belly up towards the spine. Exhale and extend over that leg. And then inhale, coming up into Utkatasana. And exhale into Tadasana. And here in Tadasana, you might want to just take a moment to close the eyes and feel again. Couple more breaths. Okay, from here we're going to open the eyes, inhale, bend the knees, take the arms out, Utkatasana, exhale, roll the buttocks up, straighten the legs, hold the legs, elbows out, head down, Uttanasana, inhale, bend the knees, the hands come onto the floor, ready for downward dog, exhale, left foot back, right foot back, into Adho Mukha. Couple of more breaths here. Now we're going to move into Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Step the left foot towards the right foot. Inhale, right leg comes up. Look up towards your hands, engage the core, navel to the spine. Bring the weight forward, big step up with your right foot. Step your right foot out to the right a little. Hands come behind your heel, palms up. Inhale, take the arms out and up into Warrior 1. Now here in Warrior 1, important to really ground down through the inner heel and inner ball of the foot. Descend the head of that right thigh bone towards the floor. Keep that back thigh firm. And then draw the navel back as you extend the torso forward. Really reaching forward from the base of your heart. And then as you exhale, listen carefully. We're going to take the arms back. We're going to interlock the fingers. And as you draw the shoulders back, inner tip of the shoulder blades come together. Drop the back heel onto the floor. Keep the front knee bent. And bring your torso forward as you take your head down towards the floor and the upper arms over the head. The tailbone is lengthening towards your back heel. The outer edge of the back foot is pressing towards the floor. Then inhale, look up, release the hands, place them onto the floor in the front of your mat, step your foot back, reposition your feet into downward dog, Adho Mukha. Tilt the pelvis forward. Step the right foot towards the left foot, inhale. The left leg comes up. Draw the navel back towards the spine. Bring your weight forward. Big step up. You might need to walk your left foot towards the left a little. And then keep the left knee bent at a right angle. Take your hands behind your heel.
Inhale, take the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling. Now keep grounding down through the inner left heel in the inner ball of the foot. The head of that left thigh bone descends and the back heel is really grounding towards the floor. Torso and rib cage lifting. Draw the navel back as you exhale. Really lengthen out through the side waist and the arms and the fingertips. Hold here for a few breaths. And then swing the arms back. Interlock the fingers. Extend the elbows. Bring the base of the heart forward. Outer tip of the shoulder blades come together. Draw the back heel onto the floor. Outer edge of the back foot presses towards the floor as you exhale. Extend your torso towards the floor and bring the arms over the head. Head down. Keep that left knee back. Tailbone lengthening towards the back heel. Outer blade of the back foot presses into the floor. Then inhale, look up. Release the hands. Exhaling, hands come onto the floor. Step the foot back. Into Adho Mukha. Good. And now from here we're going to look up towards the hands, bend the knees, draw the navel back towards the spine, weight forward, inhale, jump the feet, and exhale, hold the back of the legs, elbows out, head down. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, take the thoracic spine towards the front chest. Lift the pit of the belly towards the spine. Exhale, extend a little further into Uttanasana. Now the elbows in Uttanasana are drawing away from one another. Inhale, look up, bend the knees, take the arms out in front, Utkatasana. Exhale, press into the floor, release the arms, back to Tadasana. Close the eyes. Feel your body. Feel the energy of living presence in your body. Notice sensations. Notice the warmth. Notice how you're standing. Remain grounded through the feet. Firm through the legs, and an upward lift through the heart and the head and the mind. Stabilize. Pause, rest, and recalibrate. Don't lose awareness to your experience. Stay intimately connected to your body and your energy state, including where the mind is moving to. Bring it back to the breath. Great. Now we're going to open the eyes. We're going to move into Virabhadrasana 3. So stay very focused, stay very present and very aware as we move into this very strong, advanced standing posture. Inhale, bend the knees, move into Utkatasana. Exhale, release the arms, roll the buttocks up, hold the back of the legs, elbows out, head down, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up, bend the knees, hands come onto the floor. Exhale back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Good. Now, step the left foot towards the right foot. Inhale, right leg comes up towards the ceiling. Draw the navel back, bring the weight forward. Big step up with your right foot towards your right hand. Now from here, we're going to inhale, come into Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, draw the navel back. Extend the torso over that front leg. Now pause here for a moment, stabilize. Really ground down through the inside edge of that front foot. And then as you exhale, we're going to kick the back leg off and we're going to swing the arms back, bring the torso forward, and just keep the arms back for now. Scoop the heart forward. Good. Now that top leg needs to be really firm and the outer edge of the hip and outer thigh turns down towards the floor. Back of the neck is long. Woo! Falling over there. Now if you can, extend the arms forward, interlock the fingers except the index fingers, full variation. And then bend the knees, take the foot down, release the hands and step the foot back into downward dog. Take a few breaths here, stabilize the breath, stabilize the body. Step the right foot towards the left leg, lift the left leg up, draw the navel back, inhale, coming forward, big step up with your left foot. You might need to walk your left foot to the left a little. Let's just get the foundation right first. So coming up onto the fingertips, keep the back leg firm, keep pressing down through the inner edge of the front foot as you inhale, come into Virabhadrasana 1. As you exhale, draw the navel back, keep that front leg bent at a right angle, extend forward, and then inhale, kick the back leg off the floor, and extend the arms back. Bring the torso forward. That's front leg. Try not to let it be limp. Keep it really firm. And like we did in that pigeon pose, we're going to draw this right hip and outer right thigh down. Scoop the heart forward. Now if you can take it one step further, swing the arms forward, interlock the fingers, keep that top leg more towards the midline of the body. Then bend the knee, take the foot back down, exhale, coming back into downward dog. Well done. Whew. Stabilize the breath, keep the legs firm. Then inhale, look up, bend the knees, engage the core, jump your feet to your hands, and then exhale, release and straighten the legs. Elbows go out, head down. And then inhale, look up, bend the knees, extend the arms out in front, Utkatasana. Inhale, straighten the legs, and exhale, back into Tadasana. Stabilize and ground and pause. Breathe and feel. Close the eyes. Stay with your experience. Keep your awareness interiorized. Be really intimate with your energy state. Okay, very gently open the eyes. Now listening carefully, grounding down equally through both feet. Grounding through the feet, lifting through the crown of the head. The tailbone is lengthening towards the heels. The navel's gently drawing up back towards the spine. We're going to inhale. We're going to take the arms out in front and up. And at the same time, raise the right knee towards the chest. Now draw the navel back as you exhale. Bend from the hips. Extend forward with your torso and arms. Take the leg back and the arms swing back as well into a variation of Virabhadrasana 3. Inhale, really strong through that standing leg. The knee comes up. And keep the core engaged as you exhale. Last one. Torso comes forward, the leg extends back, the heart scoops forward, lengthen through the back of the neck, and then inhale, keep that core engagement. Woo! Knee comes up, and exhale, release the arms and the knee back down. There'll be strong sensation in that standing leg. So just take a moment to let that settle, let it release. You might want to close your eyes in between sides. Really important that between sides that you take a moment to pause, to ground, to re-stabilize, and to feel. Once the breath has settled a little, and you can stay for as long as you like, or you can move straight into the second side, really up to where your energy level is at in any given day. So in a moment, so right now we're going to inhale, take the arms out in front and lift the left leg up, draw the navel back, keep the left leg lifting up, and then as you exhale, keep the core engagement, bend from the hips, extend the leg back and take the arms back, but let the heart scoot forward. And then strong through that standing leg and the core engagement, inhale, coming back up into this standing position, leg lifting, and then exhaling, coming forward again, extending back and coming up. Last time, inhaling, see if I can manage this one while I'm talking and teaching and recording. And exhale, release, and bring the leg back down. Close the eyes. Now it requires a lot of focus. If there's any stuck energy through possibly holding the breath, release it now. Let's do it through an exhaling breath. Inhale. One more time, inhale. Bring the whole form of your body into awareness. Notice sounds around you. Notice that you're noticing. And very gently open the eyes. I'm just going to come and stand back into the middle of my mat. We're going to move into our last standing pose for today, which is Vrksasana, tree pose. So in tree pose, this is also a balancing pose. So we're going to come into Tadasana. We're going to bring the feet together. And we're going to bend the right knee first. So we're going to shift the weight to our left leg, place our hand onto our hip. Now turn the right foot out, bend the knee and take the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Now I'm going to use the wall just to balance myself. If you need to do the same, do that. Now as you push the foot into the thigh, you simultaneously push the thigh into the foot. So you cause a bracing action between the foot and thigh. Now, rather than taking that knee back, which we often hear as an instruction, we don't want to do that because this misaligns the pelvis. We want to think of the kneecap drawing down towards the floor. Good. So once you have that, you can release your arms, turn your palms out, inhale, draw the navel back towards the spine as you bring the arms up above the head. Extend the arms up. Keep your focus on something out in front. Soften the shoulders, soften the inner gaze. Breath, steady body. And then exhale, simultaneously release the leg and the arms back down. Okay, we're just going to come back into Tadasana. Ground, feel. Make sure that you're standing equally into both feet. Once you feel very grounded, shift the weight towards the right leg. Hand comes onto the hip. Turn your left foot out, so we want that external rotation in the hip. And then you bring the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. You can get the heel close towards the crease of the groin, great. Now create that bracing action. Foot and thigh press up against each other. And then the kneecap draws down towards the floor. It's almost like this thigh bone is gently drawing out of the hip socket to really create space in that hip joint. Release the arms. Inhale, turn the palms out. Arms come above the head. The core engagement is there. Navel drawing back towards the spine. Interlock the fingers. Energetic extension up from the torso and the arms. Energetic lengthening down from the tailbone. Grounding of the foot into the floor. Grounding of the thigh and foot in towards each other. Softening the shoulders. And then exhale, release the foot and the arms. Coming back into Tadasana. Closing the eyes and feeling and experiencing and pausing. Wonderful completion of our standing postures. Just take a moment to notice what your experience is. Notice how you feel now compared to the beginning of your practice. Just pause. Right now there's nothing more to do or to achieve, but simply to just be and feel into our experience, to soak up the fruit of our efforts. And then gently opening the eyes. We're going to come down into a seated position. And we're going to come into head to knee pose, Janu sirsasana. We're going to bend the right knee out to the side and bring the sole of the right foot to the inner thigh. And we're going to keep this left leg straight, the heel down, the toes up. And just taking the hands onto the floor to gently turn the torso towards the leg. You're going to inhale, bring the arms up. Like we've been working, draw the navel back as you exhale, extend forward over that leg and hold onto that foot. If you can't hold onto the foot, hands onto the floor or onto the shin. Or if you've got a strap, you can wrap the strap around your foot. I forgot to bring it with me today, but you can do that. Whether you're holding onto the strap or the foot, you're going to inhale and lift and lengthen through the torso. Draw the right side of the body towards the left leg. Draw the navel back towards the spine as you exhale. Bend the elbows out to the side and the head down towards the floor. And really just come to the breath here. Try not to worry too much about adjustments in your posture. We're just learning and feeling our way into a quieter state through some forward bends. So really come to the breath here. Just be mindful that you haven't let the weight of the body fall all the way towards the left buttock and leg. Bring a little more weight to the inner left leg and the right buttock. Release the head. Breath awareness. Steady and gradual. And then inhale. Lift the head and the chest, exhale and release. Straighten the leg now. And now we're going to bend the left knee out to the side, bring the sole of the foot to the leg. Take the heel down, the toes up. And again, we're just shifting the weight to the inner leg and the left buttock. Then inhale, take the arms out and up in front. Draw the navel back as you exhale and extend forward. Holding onto that foot or placing the hands onto the floor or the shin. If this is all you can do, that's completely fine. Just try not to push or force. So then we're going to inhale, one last lift and adjustment, turn the navel and the chest and the head towards that straight leg, and draw the navel back as you exhale, bend the elbows and come forward. You'll feel a stretch through that lumbar area. Breathe into that area now. Mentally lead that breath there. And as you feel it gently releasing, you can extend a little deeper into the pose without pushing or forcing. Then pause the adjustments. Full breath awareness now. Steady inhalation, steady smooth exhalation. And then inhale, lift the head and the chest, and very gently exhale and release. And we're going to just slowly prepare for Shavasana. So have a blanket for your head right at the top of your mat, and then you're going to lie down for Shavasana. But before we move fully into Shavasana, we're just going to do a gentle twist. So we're going to take the arms out to the side, bend the knees, take the right leg over the left leg. If you can, hook the right foot behind the left calf. The arms extend shoulder height. Then you lift the buttocks up, you push the buttocks a little to the right, you draw the navel back towards the spine, and you take the legs down to the left. And then you extend out through the right arm. And if it feels comfortable for you, turn and look towards your right hand. If not, looking towards the ceiling is fine. And breathe. Now, if the breath is slowed and stabilized, see if you can make the breath a little more gradual. And this is a great opportunity here in this twisted position with this resistance to strengthen the diaphragm, which is a muscle for breathing. And within this resistance, if we apply a longer breath, we can work that muscle more deeply. And then inhale, bring the knee up, or the knees up. Straighten the hips, unhook the legs. Just make sure that you're aligned, shoulders above the hips, and then you can take the left leg over the right leg. If you can, hook the left foot behind the right calf. The right foot's on the floor. Now as you push into the foot, lift the buttocks and hips up. Take the buttocks to the left a little. Then draw the navel back towards the spine as you exhale, and take the knees down to the right, and you extend out through that left arm, looking towards that left hand. Breathing. Mentally lead that breath where you feel the tightness or the restriction. Don't push, don't force. Just let the body respond, one breath at a time. And then inhale, bring the knees up, and exhale, straighten the hips, unhook the legs, and time to lie down for Shavasana. We straighten the legs, take the upper arms away so that they're not touching the side ribs, the legs and the feet can gently just rest out to the side. And now you're just allowing your whole body to go limp.
to go soft, tucking the shoulders down the back, perhaps even rolling the buttocks under towards the heels. Wiping all expression from your face so that the facial muscles are relaxed. Softening the space between your eyebrows and the temples and the forehead. Letting go of all doing now. Let go of all doing. Settling back into silent awareness and spacious stillness. Nothing more to do or to achieve, but to simply let go. If there's any stuck energy in the breath, feel free to exhale with a deep sigh. And settling deeper and deeper into quietness and stillness. Allow full awareness to rest on the breath right now. And the breath is organic, moving to its own natural rhythm. Now feel free to stay here for as long as you like. Ideally, it's good to stay for at least 10 minutes. But I'm conscious that this video is probably going to be longer than what I initially said of 40 minutes. So I'm going to come out of Shavasana, bending the knees, rolling to the right side, opening the eyes, and then gently bringing myself up. And we're going to come into our closing chant. We come into that same position that we started in. That same sitting position. If you're doing Siddha, yoni, asana or sirsasana, feel free to change which leg is on top. Settle into your sitting posture. Find that position of quietness and stillness. Again, lifting through the torso without being rigid or hard. Gently bringing the palms together in the second variation of Anjali mudra. Relaxed elbows. This mudra of blessing power. So we send the merit of our practice, our effort, out to the world for the benefit of all beings. And as we take the time to recalibrate our own experience back to source, we step out of that experience and come back into the world in a more refreshed way. When we do touch into the source of our being, we touch into an experience of bliss, of equanimity, of contentment, of love and understanding. And as we experience that in our own being, we can spread that out to all others. And as we spread out this blessing power, we really want all others to experience what it really feels like when we do recalibrate back to source. Because we know how it feels and we want everyone to feel that as well.
So 3 Oms and then Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, and then the Maha Mrityunjaya mantra. If you don't know our closing chant, I have done a video on opening and closing chants. You can find that on YouTube as well to learn them. So inhale deeply. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityo Mukshiyamamritan. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. Tatastu Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. May it be so. I am that essence. I am that essence. I am that essence. Thank you everyone. Thank you for joining me again. I hope that you've enjoyed that. And I'm going to try my hardest to release another one very, very soon. Take care.